Hello my friends, and welcome to a decently large book haul, especially considering I'm in my second month of a book buying ban. But I have some great books to share here with you. And the question is, did I break my book buying ban? And the answer is yes. But it is not as much as it looks. Okay? I only broke my book buying ban with one book, which I will explain as we go through what is obviously a stack of more than one book. So first of all, I always like to start with the books that were sent to me by authors and publishers, and that is where a lot of these books are coming this time. I am really trying to support indie authors and Christian authors, and they don't have to be overlap. It doesn't have to be an indie author plus a Christian author. And I got a lot of books sent to me recently as a result. And I'm so excited to share these, to read them. The very first one I have actually read already. It is The Castle Rose by Tabitha Keplinger. I kind of didn't really mention this book much last year because I read it for the Realm Awards. I was a judge in the summer-ish. I don't remember when we were even reading them for the Realm Awards. And I was so hoping this one was going to win because I loved it. And this is a loose retelling of The Phantom of the Opera, which I'm actually currently reading for the first time. I've never read The Phantom of the Opera, but I loved this book in the summer. So excited to have a physical copy of it. It does have a bit of a map in it, which is fun. So this is set in, I think it's like present day-ish, but there is a guy named Bastine who lived and died 100 years ago. Kind of. He certainly feels like nothing more than a ghost as he haunts the abandoned Castle Rose Theatre, his only solace found in the notes of his piano. That is, until Odette arrives. So she is new to New Orleans, and she catches this guy's eye when she's on a bus. And he realizes that she can see him, and it's the first time that anyone's been able to see him in 100 years. And then this story ensues. Yeah, I really want to read this one again, especially now that I am currently reading Phantom of the Opera. I think it would be good to read the original, then read a retelling, reimagining of it. So definitely can rave about this one and say you guys should read this one. Then the author also sent me Wayward. So this one is a dystopian story, and I really like that cover. It's pretty cool. We have Wilder James, who has spent her entire life in Beartooth, secluded from the Nicanians and their domed cities where most of humanity resides. Content to keep her distance within the confines of her rustic community, she desires nothing more than to live out her years with her husband Declan in their simple mountain home. But when an unexpected tragedy rips apart her dreams and intruders pull her from the safety of her camp and into a dark reality, she discovers the shocking truth. The Nicanians are not bringers of peace, they're harbingers of death. So because I enjoyed The Castle Rose so much, I have high expectations for The Wayward, and I love the dystopian-ness of it because I feel like it's something I really like, but I don't read enough of. So looking forward to it. And then speaking of The Phantom of the Opera, I got another book that is a Phantom of the Opera retelling. This one's called Your Dark Fate by Angela Knotts Morse. I love the cover of this, and because I enjoyed the other Phantom of the Opera retelling and am currently reading the story, the original, I am so excited to try this one. This one has looks like a family tree. The esteemed royal family. We've got a map. Always cool. And then we've got a map of a military base. Position, influence, authority. Everything Captain Jade Neum has worked for within her grasp, but only if she can keep her secret. Rising quickly as a top intelligence agent, Jade hunts the assassin responsible for murders among those vying for the throne. spurred on by a mysterious informant she's only ever heard of through notes. Jade's position, rocked by her informant's undeniable allure and the reappearance of her first love, is tenuous as the threads of the assassin's web pull in close around her. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm a sucker for beautiful covers. I try not to always be persuaded to read books or not because of their covers, but if I'm being completely honest, a beautiful cover goes a long way. So I think it'd be really cool to do just a bunch of Phantom of the Opera type books in a row. And this one just came out last week, I think. This one is called The Key Thief by Christina van Starkenburg. The thing is, I read about all of these before saying people could send them to me, because I don't want people to send me books if they don't sound of interest to me, because it's not helpful for anyone. But now at this point I forget what most of them are. Ethelwyn stuffed the braid into her bag, put the scissors away, and slipped out of the store. She caught a glimpse of herself in the window's dark glass. She supposed she looked like a boy, like at least in the night. Hopefully the perception would last long enough for her to get safely out of the city. But where could she go? She couldn't lead the elves to her home, and going home wouldn't get her parents back anyway. If she wanted to live and see her parents again, she needed to tell the elven king his brother had stolen the key to the realms to overthrow him. So this one's going on my stack, and I'm going to be prioritizing these in the next few months. I've got a few ideas for that. This next one, I can't remember if it's middle grade or YA. Morlave's School of Magic. This is book 1 in a series. Congratulations, you are one of the gifted few selected to receive the coveted Yorstead Academy Scholarship. Cornelius Morlave long since accepted his fate to follow in his parents' footsteps, spending his days working in their modest shop. But when a letter with the distinctive wax crest arrives, everything changes. Morlave has been offered a full scholarship to Yorstead Academy, a prestigious school for magic. As Morlave arrives at Yorstead, he struggles to perform even the most basic spells, convinced that he doesn't belong. But when he uncovers dangerous secrets, Morlave realizes that his destiny may lie within the walls of Yorstead Academy. We've got a map of the school in here. I think that looks really cool. The first level and the second level. Okay, the next one was marketed to me as kind of similar to The Lost Year, which I raved about in my middle grade recommendations. It's The Silent Journey by Havilah McLatt. I'm sorry if I'm butchering people's names. This has to do with the famine in Ukraine in the 30s. So it says, one girl, one locket, one journey across the ocean. In 1932, deaf 11-year-old Anika escapes famine-depleted Ukraine with one hope, to reunite with her papa, Tato, in America. After a perilous ocean voyage, she arrives in Manhattan alone and frightened. When her father does not show up to meet her, she sets out to find him. Yeah, and because I had just been reminiscing about The Lost Year, I think it'll be good to read a book that is a similar setting. This one is a historical mystery, a Victorian mystery. We've got Winter's Season, or a Regency mystery, I guess, sorry. Winter's Season. It's 1817 London. Before the police, there was Captain Winter, a city teeming with life, yet lacking a professional police force. When a wealthy young woman is brutally murdered in an alley frequented by prostitutes, a shadowy government bureau in Whitehall dispatches its special emissary, Captain Winter, a veteran of the Napoleonic Wars and a gentleman forged by chance and conflict. Winter is uniquely equipped to navigate the treacherous currents of London society, from aristocratic drawing rooms to the city's grimiest taverns. Yeah, and I really like historical mysteries, and I believe this is a series. I think so. So looking forward to reading that. Next is Stillwater by Heather Thompson. This says, in the peaceful town of Stillwater, an ominous shadow looms as the mysterious Divinity U group gains influence. Harriet Gordon, a local woman, and Pastor Cole Warren find themselves at the heart of a spiritual battle. I think that this one has some Frank Peretti, like spiritual warfare vibes, if I remember correctly. And it has a character index and pronunciation guide, which I always find very helpful. So, and it's actually at the beginning of the book. Very smart. And one more, this is the last of the indie ones that were sent to me. We've got The Watcher of Storms. This is book 1 by Cy Allen. When 16-year-old Zach is struck by lightning, his world shatters and reforms on the mysterious island of Croatoa. There he becomes a watcher, mastering the powers of lightning, wind, water, and ice. As ancient evils rise and forgotten enemies return, Zach must face corrupted watchers, mythical beasts, and a war that spans worlds. This one has like, oh, I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it in this lighting, but cool like picture on, is it every chapter? Yeah. Is it the same picture? I think so. It's pretty cool. I like that. A little added touch. So that one is going on the stack. The next 2 were sent to me by publishers. The first one I talked about in a January vlog, because this is a book that was like, there was a big kerfuffle. And it's way out of my element, my norm, because it is a romance, but it's, guys, it's got books, okay? So we've got Hearts in Circulation by Sarah Monzon. It has a bookmobile. That's really all that I needed to know. Can a rundown bookmobile be the vehicle that brings 2 unlikely hearts together? Little Creek's bookmobile is more of a death trap on wheels than a vehicle of literary delights, and circulation librarian Haley Holt is afraid it's going to go careening down a mountainside with her in it. Yet she sees it as a way to serve her community and be worthy of the liver transplant that saved her life as a child. However, her fears come true when the bookmobile breaks down and a rock slide traps her in the small town of Turkey Grove. And the sun came out, you guys. It was like so cloudy before. Yeah. Oh, look. And then the male main character is a mechanic that will help her out. I just hope there's some good bookish conversations throughout this. That's what I'm hoping for. And then the other one I did talk about because it is in my March TBR. It is The Star Blessed by Angie Dickinson. This is the one I plan on reading for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge because it's got some swords on it, and the prompt for it is a weapon on the cover. The kingdom of Stellarius is slowly dying. A season of poison infects the air, earth, and water with increasing deadliness each year, and a deep love of gold and power infects the failing mind of the king. His only daughter and first in line to the throne, Princess Seren, lives in tightly controlled isolation. When she's suddenly thrust into royal society, she struggles to hide the strain of untamed magic awakening in her blood. And yeah, like I said, I read, blanking on the title, Truth Cursed by Angie Dickinson last year, so I'm excited to read another one by her. This has a map. Yeah, it's really bright right now, so it's hard to show, but yeah, looking forward to it. It's a reimagining and reinventing of Rumpelstiltskin and Catskin by the Brothers Grimm. And I'm in the process of reading a bunch of fairy tales because they are my specialty for my DIY literature degree for this year. So I will either have read these already by then or will make sure to do so around this time. Okay, now we've got books that I've purchased. Why are we focusing over there? But for the most part, only one of these actually breaks the book buying ban. So the first one I will talk about does not break the ban. This is The Betrayal of Eden by Erin Phillips. This is the indie book club book for April. So I just wanted to make sure I had it queued up and ready to go for when April occurs. This is a reimagining of The Count of Monte Cristo, which I have watched the movie of, but never actually read the book. The book is massive. Will this motivate me to read the book? We'll see. Eventually I want to read it. At 16, Eden sees nothing but a bright future ahead of her. With a valuable promotion on the horizon, she is granted a coveted spot as a debutante, alongside her wealthy friend Fallon, an important step in escaping the sordid South bout and securing a future with her beau, Miles, the son of a powerful representative. But the happily ever after of Eden's fairy tale rise will be more dangerous than she realizes. Hunter Calder, an indentured servant, is far too familiar with the family's schemes. Forced to pay off his father's debt, he discovers a dark secret about the mysterious grimoires Cartier City uses to maintain order. However, revealing the truth might not provide this freedom he seeks. Yeah, I'm curious. I have watched the movie twice, but never read the book. And I don't know how much the movie sticks to the book and deviates, and how much a reimagining will stick to it or deviate. But the nice thing is I don't really remember what happens, so then this should be completely new to me. And then maybe after I'm done, this is going to be a series. Book 2 is coming out, I think, in April, so I might grab that one like shortly after and keep going. I can't remember if it's a trilogy or I don't remember how many books are supposed to be in the series, but very excited to start it. Then this is the book that made me break my book buying ban. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this in my stories weeks ago. I got The Diseased Ones by Danielle Harrington. This book was normally $37 in Canada, but this is a hardcover. It was on sale for $7 one day, and I was like, well, that's a pretty good savings. I've been wanting to read from her for a while, and this is the first book in a 4-book series, I think. And so I grabbed it. Saved myself $30, honestly, because the next day it went back up to $37. And it was only a Canadian sale. That like never happens. So the back just has blurbs, praise for it. What's it say here? Life is easy in 2647 unless you're a diseased one. On the morning of her 16th birthday, Hollis Timewire receives the worst possible news. She can't become a citizen of the world. She's a diseased one. Born with a biomarker that bestows dangerous brain-altering powers, Hollis is forced to hide underground with other diseased ones who believe that the government falsified history to cover up their genocide. Now Hollis must discover the truth and is willing to risk anything, including her powers, to go back home. Yeah, that sounds interesting. So we've got another dystopian book here, and I think the series is complete. So I'm looking forward to finishing that. That was definitely worth breaking the book buying ban. Like, I'm still considering myself on it. I only bought the one book that was, my parameters were that it couldn't be, like, I was going to have to buy some books for the indie book club. I knew that. And possibly for my nonfiction book club. And then I bought some for homeschool stuff. But this is the only one that I purchased for myself that didn't fall under those parameters. I feel like that's pretty good. And then I'm going to breeze through the ones that I got for our homeschool. I did share about this a bit in a vlog in January as well. They're for our homeschool, but I also plan on reading them. So I ended up getting 2 books by Emma Carroll. This is The Girl Who Walked on Air. These books were really cheap, and I needed a little bit more money for free shipping. Like, I may as well spend the money on the books and get free shipping instead of spending money on the shipping, right? It makes sense to me. So this is 1875. We bring you the sensational story of Louis Reynolds, whose dream is to be a circus showstopper. Her tightrope talents put the finest performers to shame, yet the path to fame is a rocky one. To travel it, she must first witness a terrible accident, meet 2 mysterious strangers, cross Niagara Falls, and look death square in the eye. Will Louis find the courage to face such challenges and become the girl who walked on air? Yeah, okay, that one sounded interesting. I have read one book by Emma Carroll before, Letters to the Lighthouse, and I enjoyed it. This one is When We Were Warriors. This is set in the summer of 1942. So it's a World War II book, so I thought this would be good for what we're studying currently, or my daughter is currently studying, my son is about to start. Air raids, rationing, the threat of invasion is the same thing every day in wartime Britain. That's what Stanley thinks anyway, until his home is bombed and he's evacuated to a remote old house with the mysterious name Frost Hollow Hall. That's what Olive thinks too, until she finds a body washed up on a beach at Budmouth Point. Velvet just wishes she could be useful, and when the air raid warden brings in a band that pulls all the pets in peril, she grabs her chance. 3 thrilling stories about 3 different children who find adventure, courage, and untrainable dogs, and an impossibly tall American GI where they least expect it. Huh, interesting. I'm curious to see how those, are the stories gonna cross? Or are they 3 short stories? Oh, I think they're 3 short stories. Oh, interesting. Okay. Then I got 2 No Fear Shakespeare. we've got The Tempest, and then I also got Merchant of Venice, which Reka is already reading. These have the original Shakespeare on one side and the modern day language on the other, and we just really like them. Reka has, I don't even know how many Shakespeare she's read already this year. This is all on her own. Like, I told her she had to read one, and then she's read, I don't even know. I think she's probably on her like fifth one, fourth one, sixth one. She's kind of devouring Shakespeare, and who am I to complain? Then I got Max in the House of Spies. I originally thought this was a graphic novel, but it works out well because it turns out this is the group read for middle grade March. So I guess I'll be reading this. This is a World War II book about a boy who has never left Berlin, barely speaks English, doesn't want to live with strangers in London. Most of all, he doesn't want to leave his parents behind. So he's transported to England. Okay, I'm just sitting here editing this video, and I got interrupted while talking about Max in the House of Spies, and had to leave for a few seconds and apparently completely forgot to finish talking about it. He's from Germany, he goes to England, and then he wants to get back to Germany. So he has this idea, I think, to become a spy and somehow get back to Germany. I don't really know. I didn't realize it was going to be the middle grade March book, the group read. So now I'm going to read it for that purpose, and we will see. Okay, now back to couple other books. We're almost done here. Then a random one I got here is Rainy Day Drawing. These are like activity pads. I got 2 of these for my 5-year-old. They have like different things to do. So it says, draw designs on these superhero shields. Draw what you see through a hole in the wall. I thought they would be very entertaining for church. Fill the shapes with doodles. Draw a garden in bloom and add some insects. So they're cute, very helpful. Has she decided that she doesn't want to do it because I bought it for her? Absolutely. But hopefully she will change her mind yet. Another World War II one I got is Fallout by Steve Sheenkin. I think this is World War II. Yeah. As World War II comes to an close, the United States and the Soviet Union emerge as the greatest world powers. After the United States shows its hand with the atomic bomb, the Soviets refuse to be left behind. Oh, this is about the Cold War. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just thought we need more historical fiction, especially as we move throughout history. So got this one. I haven't read a book by him other than the one that he co-wrote with Ruta Sepetys, The Bletchley Riddle. So I will read this one at some point. First, we're reading some World War II stuff. Then I got 24-Hour History, the complete graphic novel collection. This has a couple different stories. So what do we have here? Attack on Pearl Harbor, D-Day, assassination of John F. Kennedy, assassination of Martin Luther King, and Apollo 11 moon landing, all in this graphic novel. And yeah, I feel like graphic novels are a great way to get some history in. So I picked that up. Easy way to take in history. And the last one is also a graphic novel. It is The Librarian of Auschwitz. I haven't actually read the novel, but the graphic novel looked good and interesting. And like I said, it's a quick and easy way to take in some history. This is based on the real life experience of a prisoner, a girl who risked her life to keep the magic of books alive during the Holocaust. I might have to read the actual book after this, but thought I would grab that. So that is all for my massive book haul that I got, all these books that I got on a book buying ban. At this rate, I do think that March will also be a decent sized book haul. Let me know if any of these sound of interest to you. Have you read any of them and really enjoyed them? Let me know. My foot is falling asleep from the way I'm sitting, hiding here out of the sun. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for watching my videos. I will see you again next week for a book recommendation video.